Do you agree with these 25 priorities? It's January 30th, 2025, and these are your headlines. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick's announced already the first 25 of his top 40 priority measures for the legislative session in Austin. And let me know your feelings on these in the comments as I go through them. The list starts out with SB 1 and 2, which relate to the budget and school choice, respectively. You might remember that senators have already passed a school choice measure out of the Education Committee this week, and the first Finance Committee hearings on the budget have already started. SB 3 would ban consumable THC. SB 4 would increase the homestead exemption from $100,000 for all adults to $140,000 and $150,000 for seniors. SB 6 seeks to address the reliability of Texas' electrical grid. Skipping forward, by the way, SB 8 would require state law enforcement to work with federal law enforcement to assist in criminal deportation efforts. Florida, as you may have seen, is currently mulling similar legislation. And other priority items include SB 5, which creates a Dementia Prevention and Research Institute of Texas. SB 7, increasing investments in Texas's water supply. SB 9, reforming bail. SB 10, placing the 10 Commandments in schools. SB 11, protecting the freedom to pray in school. SB 12, establishing a parental bill of rights in public education. SB 13, guarding against inappropriate books in public schools. SB 14, creating a Texas DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency. SB 15, removing barriers to affordable housing. SB 16, stopping non-citizens from voting, something there's been a lot of conversation about. SB 17, this is a big one, stopping foreign adversaries' land grabs. Sound like President Trump signing the executive orders. This is a big one. SB 18, stopping drag time story hour. SB 19, stopping taxpayer dollars for lobbyists. SB 20, stopping AI child pornography. SB 21, establishing a Texas Bitcoin reserve. SB 22, establishing Texas as America's film capital. We haven't seen the details of that, but if it has to do with more film subsidies from the state, we've already seen some pushback on that, even today for people like Agricultural Commissioner Sid Miller. SB 23, removing the cap on the rainy day fund to secure Texas's long-term financial future. SB 24, educating Texas students on the horrors of communism. And SB 25, making Texas healthy again. And again, we haven't seen the details of what that bill will look like, what that will actually contain. As for the next 15 priorities, Lieutenant Governor Patrick said they are coming soon. President Donald Trump has signed an executive order promising that the federal government will prosecute anti-Semitic crimes and deport students who participated in, quote, pro-jihadist protests. The executive order signed on Wednesday gives the head of every executive agency 60 days to review and present potential actions to combat anti-Semitism on university campuses. Well, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, whose department is charged with overseeing the issuance of visas, said that the department would deny and revoke visas for those discovered to be Hamas supporters. In April of last year, over 30 students were arrested for physically assaulting and threatening staff establishing encampments and vandalizing property during a pro-Palestine protest at the University of Texas in Austin. And prior to those protests, Governor Abbott issued an executive order requiring institutions of higher education to establish appropriate punishments for students who espouse anti-Semitic rhetoric. International students participated in and were arrested at UT Austin. That's according to the student newspaper there, the Daily Texan. It's unclear if the executive order solely targets international students who have been arrested and charged for their participation in the riotous protests.
America is at a crossroads. Now, more than ever, Texas must step up and lead the country. We don't have time to mess around. The only way to save America is with a strong Texas. You and I know this, but so do the enemies of life and liberty. Therefore, you and I have no choice but to stand up and fight. I'm Sarah Gonzalez, and to the enemies of liberty, I say, come and take it.
A class offered at Texas Tech University last fall encouraged students pursuing a bachelor degree in human resources development to embrace critical race theory. The course, Diversity and Cultural Competence in the Workplace, is an online class for the University Studies program, of which human resource development is a listed minor. According to the syllabus, the course encourages students to explore multiple explanations for privilege relationships at different levels in the workplace and examine how privilege in the workplace impacts the socioeconomic and cultural status of individuals and groups. The course describes its purpose as helping to manage a 21st century multicultural workforce and to develop workplace policies that create an inclusive workplace and emphasize the value of diversity in the human experience. Well, a quick analysis of the course's required readings further emphasizes the focus on themes related to critical theory. That's the field of study focused on dismantling power structures. In addition to critical race theory, the field includes other subfields like feminist theory and critical gender theory. The dean of Texas Tech University Studies is Dr. Patrick Hughes, who did not respond to a request for comment. For more of today's stories, go to texasscorecard.com.